From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth here on CW17. We're at Tommy Mac's bar like we are each and every week. Got a great show for you lined up. Good friends of mine. You know, I've been here now 22 years here in this great city of Jacksonville. Love it here. I've met so many friends along the way, and we've got a couple guests that fit that bill. They're both international, but they're both here in Jacksonville caring about our city. Nick Furris, owner of Spectrum Films. He's been around the world doing documentaries, all types of great stuff. He even played a small part in getting the Jacksonville Jaguars here to the city back in 1993. And our good friend Odette, who I've known for many, many years, she's just this international PR guru that loves this city. She's been on Rotary. She's been on Visit Jacksonville's board. She loves Jacksonville, and she'll be joining us, all coming your way right here, live from Tommy Mac's on The Horse's Mouth on CW17.
What makes the Tom Bush Family Dealership so special?
It's because we treat our customers like family.
Tom Bush Mini has really treated me well. Anytime I have an issue, I always know that there's somebody there that's going to be able to handle it. Everybody remembers me, and I like that.
If you have a Mini, you are a part of a family and you hang together. Go wash your car while we're at it.
They'll wash my car, and I just feel very comfortable.
We invite you to join our growing family.
Visit one of our 7 locations today and experience the Tom Bush difference.
All right, back here on The Horse's Mouth on CW17, as promised, my good friend Nick Furris. He's owner of Spectrum Films. He's been in the film industry forever, doing a ton of documentaries, all great stuff here domestically, overseas as well. But he's a Jacksonvillian, there's no doubt about it. He joins me here at Tommy Mac's. How you doing, Nick?
How you doing, Tommy?
Great to see you again.
Good to see you, my friend.
You and I go back quite the ways, buddy.
Yeah,
Probably back to when I first got here in Jacksonville and back in 1995.
Has it been that long?
I
huh?
think so.
Okay.
Yeah, you look good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know you're busy. I see on social media, man, you're all over the place doing some great storytelling, right? And you told me earlier that storytelling is what it's all about, and you've been involved in that, and that's your passion for a long time. Did you always have that passion growing up, or when did that start?
You know, I don't know when it exactly started, but I always enjoyed a good motion picture. Mm-hmm. And I guess over the years in doing this and starting really at the bottom as a production assistant and working my way up, one thing I've learned over the years is it's really ultimately about the story.
That's right.
You can have the greatest cameras in the world, the greatest lighting, the great original music score, but if you don't have a great story, then you just have pretty pictures with pretty music but no substance. So it starts there and then blossoms from the story.
As you know, and the audience may not know this, but I've had a passion for creating film and television projects, and have had help along the way with some great writers, great co-producers, and things like that. I tell people all the time, Nick, that it's easier to make it in the NFL than it is in that film and television industry. And I'm not looking to be, a director, an actor, or anything like that, but just there's so many great stories. How do you decipher them, as for your profession and what you do at Spectrum? How do you decipher the different stories that make it to the screen?
Well, sometimes the story is brought to us, and so it's a client, it's an advertising agency, it's a corporate client that's bringing their story to us, and our job is to take it and bring it to life and set their ideas in motion. We try to enhance their story and tell it through video and through audio and make it the best it can be. Other times, it's just a thought, and like you said, and you're 1,000% right, what story hasn't been told, right?
Right.
Now, being a Greek, it all starts from the Greeks, right? What story has not been told? Has not been told. So you have to find ways of telling the story, and you have to find ways of making the story unique, because ultimately it's about the audience. Yeah. Will they connect to that character? Will they connect to this documentary? And hopefully you do a good job and it works.
Do you go through the same process as a storyteller, as far as emotionally? Look, we all have that. You write a book or you write a screenplay or you put together a commercial for a client. You all have that, man, I hope they like it. Man, I hope that, I know I like it, right? Because I feel good about it and I'm passionate about it. But do you still go through that today, even though you've been doing it for so long?
Creative artists are the most insecure people in the world. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody wants their art critiqued. You get to learn over the years that there are multiple point of views. You just try to put forth your best foot.
Yep.
And I've been lucky enough that people trust me enough to give me the business to put my stamp on some of their ideas.
Nick is a Emmy award-winning producer and director. Tell the audience what that was like, man. What a phenomenal honor. I mean, that's the top honor in your profession.
I tell people I wish I could take the statues and would buy groceries, but they don't. But
That's right.
It's nice.
Sell them on eBay, maybe,
Exactly.
right?
It's a great honor to be recognized for your work, especially when it's something that you worked a lot on and you feel good about. I hope that the 3 that I've won aren't my last. I'm on a project right now. I'm hoping to go one step above and maybe a documentary, maybe an Oscar.
Nice.
That would be nice.
That would be great,
nice,
man.
yeah.
That's your Super Bowl, right?
That would be the Super Bowl.
And there's nothing wrong with going after that big dream, baby,
Nope,
and never
absolutely
giving
not.
up, right?
Absolutely not.
All right, we'll be back. More to come here with Nick Furious. Odette's in the house, too. She'll be joining us next here at the bar at Tommy Mac's. Coming your way right here on CW17. All right, welcome back to the Horse's Mouth here on CW17, live at Tommy Mac's. My good friend and Emmy award-winning producer and director Nick Furious from Spectrum Films is here, and of course our good friend Odette, who just showed up at the bar. Odette and I go way back from the early days of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Odette, welcome to Tommy Mac's.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
Great to have you on the show with Nick and I.
Nick, nice to see
Yeah,
you.
and here's what's great about this show, right? So it's not a total improv, but it's kind of, I'd like to do it, kind of improv-ish. But I learned off air that you two, very significant to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nick, you had a small role in assisting the team. You were doing all their marketing back then to get the team to come to Jacksonville. And Odette, you're one of the first. You're the only female reporter. I remember you from the Jacksonville Jaguar locker room.
In the locker room,
absolutely.
exactly.
Don't tell any stories now, right? You got to keep that.
You win.
You got to keep that quiet.
You win.
It's great to have you, and thanks for joining us. So you look great, and it's been a long time. I know you've done a ton of international PR work here in the States.
Yeah.
You've been in broadcasting forever. You've been an Olympic broadcaster, the first one ever out of Singapore. But man, what a fantastic career you've had so far.
And I picked Jacksonville to live.
That's right.
Isn't
Why?
it? There's something about the Southern hospitality. There's something about Jacksonville, the Jaguars, of course, and the whole people, everything. I don't know what I could be anywhere in the world, really, but I've chosen Jacksonville for over 25 years to be home.
And are you a native?
I'm a Jersey kid.
You're from Jersey. That's right. I knew that.
Don't ask me what exit.
That's
right.
What exit?
145, okay?
That's road 45.
Exit 145.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll look that
But
up.
you've been here a long time. How long
I
you
came
been
down here in 1988,
Okay.
and really, this is my kids grew up here. They know nothing but Jacksonville,
Yep.
and I agree with you. There's something about Jacksonville, and it's not the same Jacksonville since '88. I think the Jaguars changed
Without a doubt.
the look and the feel, and really brought national recognition to a beautiful
It grew
city.
up. The city just
Yeah.
grew
Just
up.
grew
It
up.
blossomed, and it matured, and it brought in other things, and great incentives moved to Jacksonville. So I think the Jaguars are absolutely a dominant force in moving Jacksonville forward.
Yeah.
Certainly, it kept me in Jacksonville. Well, you guys,
Yeah. No, look, I think obviously the Jags coming here, that was a huge thing for this city. There's no
really
doubt about it.
was.
And it's been a football town. The Bulls. Were you around for the Bulls?
I wasn't around, but
You remember hearing stories about how supportive everybody was for that football team. Florida State. I mean, this is a football city. To get their own NFL franchise has been just incredible.
Huge. I mean, I'm from Singapore. We don't have football, of course.
Right.
That's the one we use where your feet connects with the ball. Football.
That's right.
But when I came and I understood football and I learned about it, I said, well, this is really amazing. There are only at the time 30 teams in America.
Right.
Wow, to have only 30 and to have one right here.
Wow.
That's phenomenal. You're 50 states, 20 are deprived. So wow.
Yeah.
That is huge in itself. Just to think of it as such an elite city, an opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick. I mean,
Terrific.
you've done more outside of the Jags, but you were a big part of bringing them here, and you had a cool little story about being up there and Dean Spanos, right? He was.
It was Alex's
Alex
his father.
Spanos.
Alex,
That's right.
Alex,
That's
who
right.
was the patriarch of the
Tell
of the
that
family.
story. It's a great story. I never knew this story before, but the audience will love it.
We had done some films. We had to pitch the NFL. Obviously, the NFL wants to know a couple of things. Number one, who is Wayne Weaver? Who is the man behind this expansion team? Potentially expansion team, number one. And number two, what's the city like? Can the city support an NFL team from a business standpoint? Because it's really ultimately about business.
No
what
doubt.
happens on the field,
That's right.
that's a separate story.
Yep.
Will you fill the stands? So we were in Chicago, and we were at breakfast, and I remember David Selden was to my right.
Yep, remember David.
And then next to him was Mr. Weaver. And I looked across, I said, head to the restroom, and as I'm walking, I hear in Greek, Kalimera, which means good morning. So I look left, and there's someone who I recognize, and I've been to his home.
Yep.
It's Alex Spanos, who was the head of the expansion committee.
Right. The Chargers owner too, right?
And
Is
the
that
Chargers
correct?
owners at the time, now Dean has it.
Yeah.
And he said, come here. He says, come here, kid, sit down. Have something to eat. Greek hospitality. I said, I just ate. No, you're going to have something to eat. He made me order, okay? I just ate. And he says, what are you doing here? And I told him I'm with the Jacksonville Jaguar contingent. And he wanted to know about the city, and he wanted to know about Mr. Weaver. And then he asked me, he says, don't lie to me, kid. Do you have parking?
Right. And this is all in Greek.
This is all in Greek
because
because
you don't know what
he doesn't want
to
right.
Yeah.
Do you have parking? I found that like parking, and then obviously you think about it. You have a stadium, but can you support an NFL team with parking?
Right.
And I told him, look, we're passionate. We have parking. We have a great expansion committee. This is a great city. Yada yada yada. He says, I want to meet Mr. Weaver. So set it up. I'll be outside 5 minutes. Set it up. Go get Wayne. I'm going to take him upstairs. I want to talk to him one-on-one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that room, at the afternoon meeting, we had done one, that room changed. And the whole approach to Mr. Weaver changed. And I have to give Mr. Weaver all the credit in the world. He just left that podium. He walked in between all the owners, Tom. And
He's a warm body.
Oh, my,
He's
oh
so
yeah.
warm.
No,
and
Wayne's
he
the best.
became
And
one.
Dolores,
He
yeah.
became one.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
I felt that we had a good shot, and then we know they delayed it.
Yeah.
They gave it to Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then they delayed it, and then we.
That's right.
And then we came back, and here we are.
It's all the
Thank
parking.
God.
A lot of
It's
women
the
lost
parking.
their
It's the
nails.
parking. That's
right. Well, I tell you what, I think we can all say together that the Jaguars changed our lives.
Sure
Changed
did.
mine forever.
Absolutely.
I never would have came to Jacksonville. I didn't even know Jacksonville existed until I became a Jacksonville Jaguar. And I've never left.
There are people coming to the city now, setting up conferences because
yeah.
they've heard about Jacksonville through sports.
That's right.
So, they're bringing heads to beds, and wow,
Yeah.
this is the economy is a recipient of this.
Yeah.
We hosted the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's
we're gonna
incredible.
again too. I think.
Oh.
They get downtown right. More hotels. You got to build it
gotta
up.
get it right.
Got to get it right.
And
then I think we'll have one.
Do you remember the day after we were awarded the team, the full-page ad that was in, I think, the New York Times that said,
Anyone who was here, who could they forget? How did you forget that?
We need to get inside of the owners' heads as to why they chose Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And it was, as we titled the film, James Earl Jones narrated it,
Yeah.
A City of Dreams. It was a city of dreams taken from the John Updike quote of his famous book. And it, with James Earl Jones saying those words,
Right,
it was
right.
like, I believe you,
Right.
I believe you,
That's
whatever
right.
you say, I
Wait,
believe you.
didn't he say he was someone's father?
Yes, someone's father.
I
And he
am
said
your
something,
father.
some network, 3 letters, I forget.
That's fantastic. What a great story. All right, we're going to take a quick time out. We come back. We're going to get into some Olympian talk. Yeah, the Olympics coming up next year on CW17. You're watching The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus, where sports meets business meets life. Brought to you by All All right, welcome back to the Horse's Mouth here on CW17 from Tommy Max. We're wrapping it up with Nick Furious and our good friend Odette. Guys, you both have Jaguar connections, Jacksonville connections, as do I, but you also have Olympic connections. Of course, you're in business with Shannon Miller and her brand, and Odette, you're the first female to ever anchor the Olympics out of Southeast Asia, man. I got that right.
Yes, you did.
I did. That must have been pretty challenging. I mean, you're the first female ever to get that gig. I'm sure the men weren't too happy about it.
Yeah, they didn't take that too well, but they were very welcoming after the fact when they see that you are capable and that you can read these very long, challenging names. The Russian names are coming through your earpiece. And you're like, so and so just won the javelin. You're like, God, say that again. That name was about 12 feet long.
That's
but
right.
when you were able to at least cope, as you know, it's in the business, you've got to just wing it.
Right.
And they were like, oh, okay, well, she's all right. They became very welcoming. So all's good. It ended well.
That's good. It must have been a great experience.
Fantastic.
For you. I mean, you think of football, you think of Super Bowl, but the Olympics, it's a whole new level.
International
It is.
scale.
I love football, but NBA, I don't care. When you win, no, I'm just saying, like when you win an Olympic medal, man, you're
the best in the
you're
world.
a hero.
Well,
it's
You're the
heroes.
best in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
in the
amazing.
world.
It's incredible to meet these athletes. It's incredible to see what they've had to endure for 4
No
years.
doubt.
It's
Yeah.
not like every year you get a next chance.
That's
you have to
right.
wait a whole 4 years for the next
No
one.
doubt.
And many
Staying
of them are
focused.
so young.
Very,
Right.
very,
Young. They're retiring at 19 years old.
I know.
Now, what do you do with the rest of your life?
And we have an Olympian right here in Jacksonville with Shannon
We
Miller.
we have Shannon Miller,
Yep.
and we have the Olympic swimmer.
Oh yeah, Ryan Murphy. Are you talking about Ryan Murphy?
She's a lawyer and doing a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Hogshead.
Nancy.
Hogshead.
Sorry,
Nancy
Nancy.
Hogshead.
God love you, babe.
She's doing a lot of great
she's
work.
fantastic.
But yeah, Shannon is here, and
Yeah.
I'm blessed to have met her and building her brand nationally and internationally, and she commentates on the Olympics. It's wonderful.
It is wonderful, man. Every time, I don't care if it's Winter or Summer Olympics. That's like the ultimate. It's like taking a stage and a band, and they're there to see. You got 100,000 people out in the crowd. Yeah. That's just an incredible feeling. I felt that way with the Jags, and you guys, with the Jags coming to town and us doing well early. And now they're doing well again. I mean, it's a great time to be in Jacksonville. It helps everything, doesn't it? You mentioned how great of a community. We're family. It's a community. When they lose, it stings. When they win, it's elation.
Whenever there's these rumors that anyone's moving the team anywhere,
That's right.
you just go, no way.
You
No
feel
way.
that passion. People are like,
Yep.
oh no, this is our team.
That's right.
It's
No doubt
our
about
team.
It cannot leave. I mean, Jacksonville will. The opposite will happen. We will become
That's right.
a ghost town.
All right, real quick as we wrap up, I do this with my guests. You give me. I'm gonna teeter it a little bit towards Greek restaurants. Give me your favorite Greek restaurant here in town.
It's a brand new Greek restaurant, the Athenian Owl.
The Athenian Owl.
On Bay Meadows Road.
Look at that. Nice
Just
tip.
wonderful, great, authentic Greek food with the chef coming from Greece.
Awesome.
Excellent.
How about you, Odette? What's your favorite restaurant? You got one that you can
I do.
throw out there?
I enjoy JJ's Bistro. I love the French cuisine
Yeah.
and the very low-key, naturally, it's like you're standing outside, but you're inside. It
Yep.
makes you feel kind of like you're on the street in Paris.
Nice.
It's very nice, very casual.
I'm Palm Valley Fish Camp.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that fish is unbelievable. We have a lot of great food here in town.
Yes,
a lot
we
of great
do.
people.
Yep.
We live in a great
do.
community. Thanks for joining me here.
Thank you.
On the
Always
Horse's
welcome.
Mouth.
Thank you.
Nick,
Thank you.
Good to see you.
bless you, man.
Always.
All right, that's do it for us. We'll come back and wrap this edition up of the Horse's Mouth live from Tommy Max on CW17. Time now once again for Up Close and Personal as I spent some time with my good friend, John McGuire. All right, time once again for Up Close and Personal here on the Horse's Mouth on CW17. My guest is John McGuire from Foster's Closet. He's also an entrepreneur. He's also a resident here in Jacksonville. He joins me on the Horse's Mouth. John, how are you, buddy?
I'm excellent,
Good
Tom.
to see you, man.
Great to see
Always
you,
a
too.
pleasure. Welcome to the bar. And it's been a little while, so I'm glad we got to run into each
Yeah, it
other.
has been. I'm very pleased to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about Foster's Closet, man. You've been helping children for a long time. You've helped a ton of kids. What a fantastic thing that you and your wife do.
Yeah, thanks very much. Actually, most of the credit, if not all of it, goes to my wife.
Okay.
But at the same time, we started being foster parents about 12 years ago, maybe 13 years ago.
Wow.
Where actually we've had close to 65 to 70 kids in our home over that course of time. In our home.
Wow.
Over that, sometimes it was for 2-3 days, sometimes it was for 2 years. Just depend on the circumstance and what the kids needed.
Right.
And from the very first 24 hours after we got licensed, you're excited and you're really wanting and willing to really help these kids, and then you realize, oh gosh, I don't have a crib, I don't have a high chair, we don't have clothes, we don't have all these necessary things.
Right.
And so my wife started calling around the various different agencies and to find out where you can go for some things like that, and quickly learned there wasn't that kind of resource. Wow. So she decided to really start it herself, which we had a big closet under our staircase in our home, and we started just piling stuff up there. Wow. Which created the name Foster Closet.
Yeah, cool. Man.
And from there, 9-10 years later, we now have our own, a 5,000 square foot building, a big box truck for pickup and delivery. Mm-hmm. We also have a second location in Alachua County for the Gainesville area, which is very in need in foster care. And we help over 1,000 kids in foster families a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, what ages have you taken kids, like babies in? Or?
Actually, for us, we've done things as where babies we've actually picked up at the hospital right after they were born, either through foster care or cradle care. Wow. And then we've actually even had 20 or 18 to 20-year-olds that aged out and really weren't in a position to move into that next phase of their life. So we've had a variety of ages, that's for sure.
Wow, that's fantastic. Man, talk about just a lot of love, man. I mean, a lot of just, unconditional love for these children that aren't even your children.
Yeah.
That's a special thing, man.
I think it is to some extent. And, it's definitely, God in the Bible always talks about look after the orphans. And that's something that we've kind of lived by. Wow. And that we've always, one of the reasons why we started this. And the kids are, it's amazing when you start showing them a little bit of family love and structure, how tremendous and how they change and how wonderful things become.
Wow. Now you have children of your own as well, right? And you have
a
daughter getting married soon.
I do.
Told me to save my money. I got 3 girls, so of course.
Yeah, starting out for
we're
sure,
not there
Tom.
yet. Starting out for sure. How did they handle having foster children in their home?
You know what? That's a great question, and what we tried to do, at least for the first or the majority of the years when we did foster care, we tried to take in kids that were younger than our kids.
Okay.
So our kids felt like they would keep that birthright, and they were at an older age, so they wouldn't be that impressionable on good and bad side. So, so really, my son's just turned 24.
Wow.
My daughter's 21. And then we adopted 2 kids a couple years ago, siblings who are now 10 and 11.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah, starting over.
That is fantastic. So, obviously, there's got to be challenges when you bring in a foster child. How did you guys learn to handle those challenges?
Yeah, I think, you try to attend as many classes that the different agencies put on to help educate. Also, there's a variety of different programs and different things that you can participate. You get an extensive training at the beginning, but just like being normal, regular parents, it's learning on the job.
Wow.
And then when you start doing it a lot at the very beginning, you start to see, I don't want to say similarities, but you start to get better and better at what you do, because these kids are, in a lot of cases, are very traumatic.
Right.
And have a lot of issues that you have to deal with. And so you try to, in the different agencies in the states, and they do offer assistance. So there are some pretty good tools out there.
All right, how can people find out about Foster's Closet?
Yeah, so they can go to fostercloset.org.
Okay.
And, all information about the charities right on there.
Great.
And any ways to help volunteer or donate certainly would be wanted.
That's fantastic. Hey, we all have those clothes that we give to Goodwill, right?
Yep.
So let's give the hand-me-downs, quote unquote, to an organization that'll get it on those kids that need it.
Yeah, we carry everything from furniture to clothes to toys to books. you name it. Every single thing that any child or teenager or young adult needs, we have in our location.
That's fantastic. All right, real quick, I do want to get into Vitalio. This guy's an entrepreneur, man. This guy helps startup companies, helps all types of companies, but this is one of your own. Tell us about Vitalio real quick.
I have two wonderful partners in this, and they're great gentlemen, and they're very educated in the field of wellness. One in particular who really helped put this together is a nationally known and recognized chiropractor and speaker. He's also a New York Times best-selling author. He wrote 20 books on nutrition.
Wow.
And so when we started looking at this, actually in the summer of 2017, we realized that we really needed to simplify nutrition. We needed to develop a system and a pack that doctors can present to their patients or people can get on their own, that provided a complete system, anywhere from a multivitamin to nerve, bone, and soft tissue support.
Wow.
And then from there, start having packets that attack diabetes or cardiovascular disease or digestive issues. So it'll be a system that's designed from this pack, which is something that should be taken every day.
Wow, I'm looking at it right now. I think I'm going to have to try it myself. Where can people find these packs?
Yeah, so if you go to vitalionutrition.com, you'll be able to get all the information, the website, how to buy it, any information that you need on the ingredients. Because the one thing that we really pride ourselves on this particular product is that it's got all the great key words. It's gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, non-GMO.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I've really learned over the last 10 months, 12 months on doing this product with some of these really smart individuals is our truths have to compete with the lies that are in the marketplace.
Sure.
Because I can't tell you how many products like this are out there at CVS or Walgreens or Walmart or all these other places that have a lot of ingredients, a lot of key buzzwords, but the actual ingredient itself isn't the right one, or the dosage just has no clinical value whatsoever. And as my partner likes to say, is he'd rather I eat the box than take the supplements because it has just as much value.
There you go. There you go. All right. VitalioNutrition.com. That's VITALLEO nutrition.com. John, thanks for joining me here on Up Close and Personal.
Anytime, Tom.
All right, my friend.
Appreciate
Always a good time. All right, more to come right here on The Horse's Mouth on CW17. All right, what another great edition of The Horse's Mouth here on CW17. Want to thank Nick Furious, of course. Man, I love storytelling. It's just to be creative and to be able to bring a story to life really is a special gift, and he does it well. Of course, our friend Odette, who's done pretty much everything. I mean, the first woman to cover the Olympics as an anchor out of Southeast Asia. That is truly credible. I remember her as a reporter with the Jags way back when. Just two great people, happy people that love it here in Jacksonville, that are doing great work. That's what this show is all about for you people. The city of Jacksonville, we love you, we thank you, and we appreciate you being here with us on The Horse's Mouth. So stay cool out there, Jacksonville, and be safe. We'll see you next time here on The Horse's Mouth.